How? Welcome to the Archery channel. This is a quick video because a few people have joined the Archery channel. I mean, it's a very small channel. I know nobody thing, but I just want to talk about archery. What this channel's all about, really. It's not about traditional archery insofar as buying expensive bows, expensive arrows, standing there and doing the standard, you know, archery sort of poses and doing the look down the arrow and shoot and all that lot. Like, this is about just getting going, doing archery, doing whatever style you like, having a bit of fun, and it's about sort of like how to sort of like things you can do, and hopefully there's some information here that can help you and get you on your way. Now, a good bow is very, very expensive. When you buy them, they're very, very, very expensive. So what I did at first, I did one of these, which is just a bow made out of bamboo. This is sort of like this has got to be the easiest way to make a bow and get yourself shooting. You just get some bamboos, which you can usually get for nothing. And hang on a second, I'll string this one. You can usually get them for nothing. And you have to excuse me here, so I haven't strung this one for a little while. Twist that down there and see what we got. And we got a little stringing bow. And not quite strung properly, but you've got a bow. And it's not going to be the world's most powerful bow. It's not going to be anything like that. But for a few pennies or for absolutely no money whatsoever, you can start shooting arrows. You can start shooting arrows and have a bit of fun with these. I mean, this is not going to have a great deal of poundage, and this bow is quite old and knackered. I made it probably about a year ago now, and it's been shot hundreds of times. You can tell by the way the arrows have worn this bit down. But you can shoot and you can get going. And arrows, if you haven't got any money to buy arrows at all, you can buy arrows fairly cheaply online. The cheapest arrows that you can get are these. They come from Bristol, believe it or not. If anybody lives in Bristol, these come from Bristol. They're the cheapest. They don't have this tip on it. I put this tip on it a lot later on. They come with a field tip type thing. Have I got anything with? Oh, there's one. There's one with the original tip on it. And there you get these for about under 20 quid for a dozen. Which is not too bad. And you can get you shooting. And there you go. You've got an arrow that works. A few pennies, or you can make your own arrows. Now, God forbid, I would not say that I'm a Fletcher, a good Fletcher, or anything like that. But I've made this arrow, and I've used some feathers. I used these ones are pheasant feathers. They do look like turkey feathers. And possibly the cock feather, I've used a pigeon feather. Yeah. So, and you can make your own arrows, and away you go. And that and you can shoot that. So that is the cheapest way. Just you need to learn how to lash or whip. I've got a video about how to build these bows using the same techniques, whipping and lashing, and you get the bows, and you get this is tent poles, and they're 12 mil tent poles, or 10 or 12 mil. I can't work it out. I'll have to measure them. I haven't ever measured them. The 10 and these are quite nice actually. These bows. These are this one shoots as good as any expensive bow you can buy. It's a self bow. It's not got any weights or counterbalances or shelves on it or anything like that. It's the basic bow, about as basic as you can get. But that's the as my friend said at the weekend, like when we were shooting here, he said it's a punk archery thing you're doing, really, isn't it? And I said yes. Quiver. We all need a quiver, and this is a cardboard quiver. When you buy these arrows, they come in a box, a square box like this, and a little bit of an old belt, a little bit of gaffer tape, and you've got yourself a quiver. And I made this over a year ago, and it functions fine as a thing. And I have got here a glove for protecting the fingers if you're doing lots of pulls on a fairly heavy bow. If you're pulling 70 pounds all the time and everything like that, your fingers do get a bit raw there. So you can buy one of these online, about £3.50, or you can do what I did normally, which was get basically an old pair of gardening gloves, cut off the little finger and the thumb, and you've got one of these. It works. It functions perfectly. Now, what to shoot? Well, there's a company in Bristol. Again, I'm sorry, I'm Bristol centric because that's where I'm basically from originally. It's called Rendak Packaging Limited. They're by the Totterdown Bridge, not far from the Totterdown Bridge. And they sell packaging materials for building packaging. And this is for shipping stuff. It's just a hard foam. And they do offcuts as well. They've got loads and loads and loads and loads of offcuts, and they throw them in the skip. And you can, if you wanted to, you could go down and be creative. And you could make yourself a target for free if you got some of their offcuts. But if you bought a sheet of this, which is about 40 quid or something like that, 8x4 sheet, which is a big one, you can cut it with a knife, and you get out of an 8x4 sheets, you get 3 targets like this easy, and they last for ages. This is over a year old, and I shoot a lot of arrows. I have stuck a new front on it. This one here, just because the old one got what, sort of worn, but sticking on, that's just an offcut from their skip. Okay, so yeah, that's not a bad material. You can make your own using bags and things like that, and old clothes and everything, but they don't tend to last so long. Carpet tiles was another one I trialed, but they don't last particularly long. If you want to, if somebody's shooting arrows at you, don't use carpet. Is a sort of like a thing, because arrows go straight through carpet. Yeah, but this makes a good arrow. Or, as I was just doing there, just shoot into some soft earth bank. That's all right, as long as it's not too stony. You can just shoot into a bank. There's no reason why not. Also, for shooting ranges, you don't need necessarily to sort of like be going, to a shooting range and shooting sort of 25, 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters, 60 meters, 70 meters. So you don't need to be shooting that far all the time. It is good fun. It is great fun if you can set yourself up a really, really long target and shoot quite a long way. It's totally different. It's really, really nice. And it's really nice. You can do that in a field. If you can get to a field, that's a good one, where you can just put this into a field, just drop it on the floor, and just go 100 yards away or so and just shoot at it. It's quite satisfying when you get one of the arrows to sort of land on it. and it's you get to know trajectories and things like that. That's a good one. But if you've got a sort of postage stamp of a garden or backyard or anything like that, and you've got 3 or 4 meters, 5 meters, up to 10 meters, you can practice at home. And if you make your target very, very small, so if you put something very, very small on the center of here, and that's what you're aiming for, over a short distance, if you can get that on that, that will help you when you're shooting 25, 30 yards sort of thing. Won't help you when you're shooting 70 yards or anything like that. It all helps. And there's all sorts of things that you can practice. There's all sorts of things that you can practice when you're at home or in your garden, because getting the arrows on and knocking and shooting is it's something that you need to practice. And what I'm doing here is preloading the second arrow and shooting that one, so you can practice things like, because one of the things that archery always had over crossbows, now archery, I'm talking about bow archery, is the rate of fire or rate of shooting. Oh, so many people fire. You fire a gun, you shoot a bow. You can. I mean, this is only one technique. There's hundreds of different techniques. I mean, if you watch Lars Anderson, he does loads and loads of different techniques. But you can load your bow like that, preload your bow like that. You can shoot, you can load, shoot, load, shoot. So you can put 3 arrows down in a matter of seconds, and I'm sure if you practice it, you get much better than I am at it. But there you go. There is a video further up the thing on this channel that will show you how to build one of these. Very, very easy. Takes about half an hour from scratch, start to finish. You need a hot glue gun. You need some insulation tape. You need some rope. You need some rope to make a string, or cord to make a string. Insulation tape, and you need 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 tent poles. This one's 5 tent poles. Now this has been going for since way back in the winter, and this bow has shot hundreds of thousands of arrows, thousands and thousands. And I've shot long distance, I've shot up close, I've shot things. I just made it, and it was the first one I made using this exact technique, and it is my go-to bow. I've got dozens of bow, but this is, if I'm going to go out shooting, this is the bow I just pick up, because I can, it's not really a short bow, but it just isn't a long bow. It comes to about here, and I'm 5'8.5" tall. Used to be 5'10", but as age gets big, we get shorter and shorter and shorter. But so this is probably about 4'6", 4'7", 4'8", this bow. So I think it might be still classed as a short bow, but it's not the shortest bow I've got, put it that way. But it will draw to 30 inches, which is great. It's portable, it's light, and it shoots fine. Yeah, you don't need anything else. For starters, you can make something like this just to get you going. Make a few arrows. Oh yeah, there's a couple of things here. How to prepare a feather for making a flight out of. This is a crow feather. I haven't got any. I haven't got any thing. But if you rip the back off, all the I don't know what they're called, but the feathery bits off the back, like that, and then you can take the ones off the front bit as well, like that. And that needs to be cut. You take that off there like that, and you're left with the thing, and you trim the top along here with scissors. I don't have any scissors with me. I should have planned this a bit better. No scissors. A pair of scissors, trim the top, cut them like that, cut them there, and then that bit there, you have a little bit sticking out here, and you can attach that to your arrow shaft, and same with that way, and you could just a bit of super glue down there, stick it to the shaft. But remember, you've got to wrap that with some insulation tape or something like that. Insulation tape is so it's basically it's like that when it's cut, and you wrap that round. So because when you shoot the arrow, you want it covered and nice and thing, because you don't want it to cut and dig in here. Because if you leave it thing, you will cut yourself. This is not the way to do it, but if you use scissors, dunk, 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 and just trim that nice. They say in America that you got to have turkey feathers, but we've been shooting bows and arrows in this country for a long time, and there's not been a lot of turkeys walking around in this country. Now this video is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, so I have to load it up onto another channel and do it that way round. But if you any questions, ask them, and anything, if I can answer it, if I do know the answer, I'll let you know. If I don't, we can go online and research it together. But enjoy your shooting, and it's good fun. These arrows are very, very old, and they've been bodged together to keep them going, and it's good to bodge your arrows and enjoy shooting. Peace. Oh, one last thing. The good thing about archery in this country, about England, it's a sport. It's not a weapon. It's a sport. And I don't advise shooting indoors if you've got animals. Okay, because you don't want to kill your animals. It's a sport. It's a lethal sport anyway. Take care. Bye.